Hey Nail Techs, Jill Wright from nailtechevent.com coming to you from my back porch out in the country. And you know what it costs to get gas into your car to drive from out in the country into town to go to work, and then you show up and then your first client no-shows? Yeah, and if you're a client that's like listening to this like a non-nail tech and you've never worked in the beauty industry, here's how it goes. It's the same thing as you showing up for work and sitting at your desk or whatever it is you do, and your boss going, oh, by the way, we're not going to pay you for that first hour, but you got to stay here anyway since you're here. Hope you like it. Yeah. And so anyway, over 25 years ago, I developed a no-show late cancellation policy that has served me so well. I had gotten to the point where I was ready to quit the business. I literally was so driven, like lost money, lost sleepless nights, trying to get a handle on clients that were just no-showing. And it wasn't all my clients, it was a handful of clients that were no-showing and late canceling, leaving me stuck with an hour's appointment that I couldn't fill, which is an hour income I'm not getting paid for. Because see, people who don't work in the beauty industry, they don't realize we beauty pros who pay booth rent, we have to show up and pay booth rent whether or not the client is there. That's the same thing as you, the client, paying your rent and for 30 days, and you don't get to use your apartment like for, an hour or so, like a couple times a week. Yeah, a couple times a week, you're put out of your apartment. How would you like that? And you still have to pay rent. That is us. That is us. So we have to pay money to go to work, to start earning money. Y'all just show up and you start earning money and you're sitting at your job doing your job. It's a whole different thing when you're in the beauty industry. So nail techs and hairstylists and estheticians and lash techs, take it from me. This policy has served me so well for over 25 years. Late clients and no-shows. Late clients, you get an abbreviated service. Sometimes you got to leave without polish. That's just the way of it. You don't like it, go to the next salon or show up on time. Those are the two options you have. Okay? If you no-show me the first time this happens, you have to pay me 50% of your booked service. And I add it on to your next bill. And if you decide you don't want to show up for that appointment, you're 100% fired. You ain't getting back on the books. Okay. So when they show up for the next time, 50% of what you stood me up for gets added to your bill. If you do it 2 times in a row, okay, that becomes, you pay 100% of the service you book, because I'm just sitting there not earning any money. And I don't go to work to not get paid. That's how we pay our bills and stay in business. We get paid. Okay, the third time, if this happens again, you are fired. You're fired as a client and you immediately get to go find a new nail tech. And I immediately fill your spot with somebody on my waiting list to get in. Okay, that's how these things work. So nail techs, listen, I've been in it 38 years. This is what helped me survive this, enforcing it. You have to get to the point where you care more about yourself and your ability to stay in business for the long haul than you care about what your clients think of you. The ones that are the offending, the repeat offenders. I'm not talking about the people who suddenly had an emergency, like my one client, she had to cancel on her way to the hospital because she was going to give birth. She went into labor. No problem, girl, happy pushing, she gets a pass. But people who are just like, oh, I forgot my time, or oh, I overslept, or oh, I went out to lunch with the girls and lost track of time. You're paying me if you want to get back on your books. That's how it works. And once I started doing that and enforcing it evenly across the board and fairly, mysteriously, all those problems evaporated. The people who didn't respect my boundaries as a business owner, they left. And they took their problems with them. And I was able to fill their spots with new and good clients who did respect boundaries. So, nail techs, if you're in this situation, which I know thousands upon thousands of you are, take it from me. It's either them or you, because it's going to get to the point where you're going to want to quit. And when I got like that, I just decided if one of us is going to leave upset, it's not going to be me. It's going to be the client that disrespected me by not showing up on time for their booked appointment. Peace out, nail techs.